everybody, and welcome back to another fun-filled week here on the Basement Show with Mr. Nast. I am Mr. Nast. Good evening, Ron.
Good evening, sir. How you doing today?
I am doing well. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing just great. How you doing, everybody? Good to see you.
Yeah. Hope everyone had a nice, fun-filled weekend. I sucked at bowling Saturday night. Wasn't my best week, but hey, some days you have good days and some days you have bad days. So, got Curtis in the building over on Twitch. Good evening, Curtis. Nice to see you. Thanks for popping in.
Hey, Curtis.
But yeah, me and Ron were talking a little bit before the show, and I guess the place to start off this show is the Eagles locked up their franchise quarterback through 2028 today.
Yes, they did. In a
In
big
a,
way.
in a very big way.
Yep.
So if you want to go over the aspects of the
Go ahead.
contract, no, I can let you handle that, and I'll feed off of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, 5 years, $255 million, which would be an average of $51 million a year. It is the highest contract in NFL history. He is now the highest paid player in NFL history. Almost 180 million is guaranteed, and even partially guaranteed for injury. And for the first time in Eagles franchise history, a no trade clause, which the Eagles have never done before. So, hi, Andrea.
Good evening, Andrea.
They did kind of make this an extension. So this first year is really not going to impact the salary cap as much as next year will, because they did pay part of it out as a signing bonus, approximately 10 million, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So the way that they worked it out, it's going to lessen the cap hit for this year we're entering now, and will start to have a more adverse effect starting the following season.
That makes sense. He's still on a rookie contract this year, I believe, and then the next contract kicks in.
Correct. All they did was supplement this year with an additional signing bonus, which will bring his average salary for this year up significantly from where it was.
Good to know. That just when you told me this afternoon that I read it was a no trade clause, I was like, wow, like you don't see that, especially in the NFL for one, but Philly sports as another one.
Very true. It's very rare in NFL. But apparently they made the investment, and Jalen has made the investment in return to be here in Philadelphia until he decides that he doesn't want to be here anymore.
And I think he wants to be here for a very long time.
And if he's, we're going to continue to feed the team with his boys, with his old teammates and the like, there's no reason to think that he won't want to be here for a long time.
Yeah, it's very true. I didn't think about that. So, they are trying to build a team around him, that's for sure. And I give Howie a lot of credit for doing that. So,
yep.
But yeah, it's just baffling. Like it's been pretty well received around like the social media networks and stuff. I know Holmes has come out and said something, but a lot of people think that Hurts is probably one of the most classy players they've ever met.
Yeah, he's very mature for his age. He carried himself with the utmost class all through the season and through the pressures of Super Bowl media. He performed amazing all year in media interviews and the like. and with his teammates for that matter. I mean, he's very highly respected in the locker room. You don't have the kind of divisiveness that exists sometimes when you have a star quarterback in a locker room. So I think that, he just does it the right way. I think he's a class guy, and I think that you're going to find that he's that's one of the reasons why were comfortable making this kind of a financial investment in him.
Yeah, that's true. Evening, Jack. I don't know what
Hey, Jack.
So anyways, $1,325 for a fundraising page for Go Team Johnny. Well, okay, well that's awesome, Jack. Congratulations on your accomplishment. I don't know what that's supposed to help out with me. It's not like it's going into my pocket, but
yeah.
But no, Mahomes had come out and said that like he is well deserved. He's earned it and stuff like that. So that just shows you that even opposing quarterbacks think very highly of him. So, see if I can find how I saved this.
Yeah, I can't really think of too many quarterbacks that had bad things to say about him. The only ones that had anything bad to say about him were the crybaby Niners, the 40 Winers.
Oh, well, they're going to always whine. You know that.
You know, other than them, I don't recall anybody really talking down about Jalen Hurts.
I hope not. I mean, there's no reason to. It's not like he bashed anybody else in the league.
No.
That's the thing. Like you have someone like Hurts who doesn't do that. So.
Yep.
Damn! I tried to save this and it didn't work.
Yeah. Unfortunately, his title as highest paid will probably only last a little while.
Oh, absolutely.
Because Joe Burrow from Cincinnati and Justin Herbert from the Chargers both have to sign contracts now that the market's been reset. So there's a good possibility that you may see, this contract be the kickoff point for them.
That, and there's somebody else too that's now kicking themselves in the ass too. You want to know who that would be?
Who would that be?
Lamar Jackson.
Yeah. Okay.
Because now he's gonna make Baltimore go even more broke. Because you think about it, he's on a non-exclusive franchise tag, which is only a 1-year contract. If he signs it, and it's only guaranteeing him $34 million this year. So now he's gonna want that even larger guaranteed money. Because he still isn't. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, because you think about it, Deshaun Watson and Cleveland Browns contract made no sense. To give that guy $269 million fully guaranteed is absurd. Okay, the Eagles did the right thing. Said, hey, we're gonna lock you up, but we're gonna backpedal this, and we want you to stick around, but we're not gonna give you a fully guaranteed contract, which I completely 110% am totally for.
Mm-hmm.
So now Lamar Jackson's gonna be that guy in limbo. Okay, do I go for a contract like Hurts with a fully guaranteed and a no trade clause, or am I still in Deshaun Watson category and deserve $270 million fully guaranteed? So Lamar Jackson's kicking himself in the ass.
Well, but here's the other thing with Lamar Jackson too, though. He may be doing that, but he also may be smart. Because if Herbert and Burrow both sign 50-plus contracts, the franchise tag is derived from the average salary of the top 5 at the position, correct?
Top 10.
Top 10. Okay. Well, now 3 of the 10 just obliterated the scale. So now the scale goes up. So now he signs the tag after all these $50 million contracts. All of a sudden, he goes from what they were offering up another $10 million.
Hey, that is true. I didn't think about that. I mean, even still, if he does that, okay, because now you can say Hurts is out there. Well, that's not true because Hurts' contract doesn't start in the next year we had talked about 40.
Well, that's true too. That's
So
true.
this year he's still playing on that rookie contract, which is only 2.1 million.
Good point.
He may he
That is
may have
correct.
he may have gotten that signing bonus from signing that new contract, but his base
Yes.
salary is still in the low 2 millions this year.
Correct.
So
Good
I
point.
mean, same thing with Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow. Even if they signed that new contract, I think it's the same as Jalen Hurts. It starts the following year
Yeah,
because they were all drafted in the same draft class, so they're also technically under the rookie contracts.
that's true.
So, so
Good point. I stand corrected.
I'm not 100% sure. Please don't hold that
No,
against me.
I believe you are correct.
But because when they say it signed through 2028, that just makes me think that they added an additional time onto his current contract.
Correct. It was termed an extension.
So that's what I was getting out of it. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
85% of the
No, but the
time I
reason
am
they
wrong.
do that is the reason they do that is to minimize the cap hit this year.
Yeah, because if they would give him what $51.5 million this year, they would go from being
Right.
$19 million under to about 37 million over.
Correct.
It would have been a very big fiasco.
Right. But I mean, the Eagles did quietly add another starter last week, and we really didn't talk about it. They did pick up a linebacker who was from the Chicago Bears, who was actually a leading tackler for the Bears, named Nicholas Murrow, who's probably going to start next to
N'Kobe Dean.
N'Kobe Dean. Yes, correct. So he is absolutely a starter, and they kind of, with everything else that was going on, he kind of slipped under the radar.
That's true.
But he's a hitter. He's a tackler, and he can. You're not going to see the days of the linebackers being invisible and these guys just running right through. Into the second level. I don't think you're going to see that as much this year. Even though T.J. Edwards was pretty effective in the middle, we'll see what Jacoby Dean can do. But with Nick Morrow floating around back there, I think you're definitely going to see some more hitting, especially with those tight ends crossing in this short zone.
I agree. I mean, if you honestly want to think about it now, it seems like it's basically a trade. T.J. Edwards for Nicholas Morrow. Since T.J. Edwards went to Chicago, and we're getting Nicholas Morrow here.
True.
So I mean, T.J. Edwards signed that 3-year deal where Nicholas Morrow only got a 1-year deal, but still, I mean, at
Yeah.
this point, you might as well say we just flip flop linebackers.
Yeah, this is true. Good point.
So
But now you start thinking more and more about what they're going to do in the draft.
I mean, they really haven't. I mean, at this point, the most optimistic point of need I see is offensive lineman.
Okay.
Because they addressed the safety, they addressed linebacker, they brought in Rashard Penny for running back. I say you gotta go O-line. I mean, you need to rebuild that depth that you lost.
Well, I think you got to do that, but I don't think you do it at 10.
No, I think what you do at 10 now, that you have more of that financial aspect, is you trade back and get more assets.
Okay.
I think you could possibly trade back into the lower teens, early 20s, and get a first round pick from a team that's desperate to jump into that top 10.
Okay.
And then Howie being Howie, you know how he works that trade. He gets a first, a third this year, and then a first pick next year.
Well, that's a lot to go to 10. unless there's somebody really covets at that spot. I have a different opinion.
Okay.
I say instead of trading back, I'm saying we trade up. Um, there's currently a lot of chatter out there. There's a couple teams that may be interested, but I'm looking at the Detroit Lions at 6.
Okay.
Uh, pick number 10 and a second rounder next year for number 6 and a fifth rounder next year.
Okay, so you're trading 6 and 10, and a second for you're trading 10 and a second for next year for number.
For you give them a 2 and they give you a 5.
And then we get 6, they get a 10.
Right. And then we pick Jalen Carter at 6.
The defensive tackle from Georgia, correct?
Correct.
I mean, that's not a bad theory.
That's. Go ahead.
Or do you be bold and trade 10 and 30 and move up to the top 3 overall and go after that offensive tackle from Ohio State?
No, I don't pick an offensive tackle in the first round.
Well, they did the 1 year and it panned out pretty good.
Yeah, I don't see that. That's too much assets for an offensive tackle, and honestly, they burned down the link.
I mean, Philly probably would. You're right.
You know, they'd be hunting for Howie in the hallways. And that's not easy to say. That's a lot of H's.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like this top 10 is very complicated as of now.
It is. It's so unpredictable this year. Other than the first couple of picks, it's wide open.
Well,
but we got about 10 days to find out.
Yep, next Thursday, the 27th.
Correct.
Because right now, the wild card team in this top 3 is the Arizona Cardinals.
Yep.
Okay,
and what was that coach's name again?
Yeah, wow.
Jonathan Gannon.
Yep, but a lot of phone calls going to Arizona this week. A lot.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of teams wanting that pick to get ahead of Indianapolis because they think they could have a chance at C.J. Stroud at number 3.
Yep.
Because it sounded more and more like the consensus is going to be Bryce Young going 1 to Carolina.
Yeah.
Then Houston's technically, Houston's doing a very good job not showing their card, but I think I read that they're leaning towards Richardson from Florida.
And I think that's a mistake. I don't think Richardson's the second best.
No, but I mean, because if say they do take Richardson at 2, okay, Arizona's at 3, and knowing Indianapolis is at 4, and they're like, oh, we got a eye set on Stroud, we have the chance to get him. Boom! Here comes a team up to number 3, and swoops C.J. Stroud right in front of him. I mean, it would be a double whammy, and it would piss off a lot of people.
Yep.
Especially Indianapolis, because now you're going with the next best quarterback, which is Will Levis from Kentucky.
Right.
And that's a pretty big drop off.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
So
I mean, like I said, it's going to be very, very interesting watch.
I mean, I just looked at this, like the top 20, and I'm trying to think who would be ballsy enough to do it.
Well, let me give you a hint of who would be ballsy enough to do it. Even though they're traditionally don't. Bill Belichick.
That's a pretty steep jump, though, going from 14 to 3.
Yeah, it is. But he knows that they're never going to go anywhere without a franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
and
Okay.
Mac Jones ain't it.
Now, do you throw Mac Jones in that trade offer?
Probably.
Because you think about it, Arizona has Kyler Murray,
Hmm.
who at times can show greatness, at times can be a radical mess, and at
And
times can be
and is injury prone.
injury prone and a drama queen.
So why not have Mac Jones backing him up? Put the thumbs to him, put the screws to him, and say, if you don't perform, look who's right behind you.
I mean, at that point, you bring in another former first round pick. It might actually tell Murray, okay, I need to get the hell out of here.
Yep. Which is ultimately what they want anyway.
True. Well, they're the ones that made the mistake in signing him that long contract extension to begin with. So
Only so many ways they can get out of it.
yeah, I mean,
And with a
another
new
one.
coach coming in, there's less pressure as far as them wheeling and dealing. All the new coach has to say is, look, we gotta build this thing from the bottom up. And the
True.
fans are not going to be upset to say goodbye to Kyler Murray. Let's be honest. Especially if they can get somebody in there that can win.
Okay, I can see your point. But how about another oddball team and the Baltimore Ravens going from 22 to 3? Or you
Yeah,
think that
I don't
should,
know if they have the capital.
But think about it. They have a mess right now with Lamar Jackson.
They
So
do.
could they possibly say, okay, we'll give you 22 in the rights to Lamar for number 3?
I don't think anybody wants to touch Lamar with a 10-foot pole right now.
Yeah, I mean, that is true. I mean, I have heard Indianapolis was kind of sort of interested for a little bit, but I
Yeah.
think that faded away.
Yeah, I mean, the more he talks himself out of going anywhere else. I think he's
Yeah.
going to be pigeonholed in Baltimore for a year, and then it's all bets are off.
Yeah, well, they brought in one of his best friends for a year, so we'll see if that actually helps him with the aspect of coming back for at least one more year since they brought in OBJ.
Yeah, true.
I mean, again, like you said, all bets are off the table. I mean, like you said, you have 10 days to the draft. A lot can happen, and a lot's gonna happen.
Yep. More and more stuff will start leaking out this week.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
so watching the news this week would definitely be very telling into what may be going on. But I mean, even the Eagles are playing it pretty close to the vest. I mean,
I
they have to.
Yeah, well, with how this draft is this year, it's a very I'm trying to think methodical draft is a good way to put it.
Well, there's been very few times when a team is coming off of the Super Bowl and holding a number 10 pick.
Yeah,
It's very rare if it's ever happened before. It might have happened only once. To have a
sure.
top 10 pick coming out of the Super Bowl.
Hey, and it could have been even higher, but New Orleans started winning
Yeah.
games late in the season.
Yeah, that's true.
Imagine that.
Maybe we should have beat them, right? Yeah, think.
Yeah, maybe.
That,
Just
that might have been
though,
good. That might
just
have been
think
good.
about it, if we did beat them, you'd probably looking at pick 7 or 8 at that point.
Correct. That is correct.
God damn you, Garner Minshew. You got one job.
One job. You got one job. Come on, man.
I'm wait. I mean, I forgot to text him. I don't know, but we went live. But good to see Sheldon saying, "Really, John? Really?"
Really, John? Yeah.
Oh man, but I mean, it's just gonna be interesting to say the least.
All right. You
Okay.
got it, or do I?
I think
John?
you got it. Why?
Okay, I got it. Hold on.
Yeah, got.
What's up?
I looked down for a minute. I was like, wait, what's he talking about? I'm lost.
Darts in the chat.
With a referee.
Oh boy.
The referee doing the touchdown signal. I just looked at it.
Nice. Nice.
Good evening, Sir Darth. Nice to see you. Thanks for
Yes, sir.
popping in the chat tonight. Appreciate it. But you crack me up when you do that. I mean, I might have to try to top you, but I don't want to show you up, so I won't. And now you had Bob Ross stickers in my chat.
Nice.
But
yeah, but I mean this draft out of I honestly the last couple have been kind of anticlimactic because you knew exactly what was going to happen at the top. This year, no clue. It's just wide open.
well, because you also now that I even look at it a little bit farther, the top 4 picks as of right now. Okay, you have Carolina, Houston, Arizona, and Indianapolis. Okay. What do the 4 of those have in common this year?
Don't know.
All first-year head coaches.
Okay. Makes sense.
Well, Frank Reich has experience, but
first year with his new team.
First year in Carolina, but then you add Houston, D'Amico Ryan's coming from defensive coordinator, the head coach. Jonathan Gannon, defensive coordinator, head coach. Shane Steichen, offensive coordinator, head coach.
Right.
So,
and what do 3 of those 4 have in common?
They all coached for Philly.
Correct.
I would say it's the Nick Sirianni coaching tree, but Frank Reich.
Well, we can't say that just yet.
Yeah. Matt wants to know, show up who, John? Show up Ron.
He meant show up me, not you.
Yeah. No, Matt, trust me. You have the what's up down to a pat. I bow in defeat to you, sir, but
we're not worthy. We're not worthy.
I mean, I could easily probably show up Ron, but I will be nice and I won't do that.
Well, I'll step it up then. I mean, no.
Oh, yeah? We want to have a what's up competition right here, sir?
We'll have to reserve that for another night. I used up my one for tonight. I don't want to scratch my throat.
All right. And Matt says, I don't know if you can. Matt's calling me out. I don't like this.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, there you go.
Matt, I'll do it Thursday for you. I want to say my voice.
There you go. There you go.
I'll do the first one on Thursday, Matt. Save it for me. He'll say, no, I want it. No, Matt, he's probably said, no, I want it right now.
Yeah, probably.
Greedy bastard.
So yeah, it'll be real interesting to see how this draft flushes out for sure.
I agree.
It's going to be good to watch.
Holding you to that bet. Tune in Thursday night for an epic what's up. I'm going to practice all morning in the mirror. I'm going to be ready to go. I'm going to nail it.
There you go.
The shit we do on this show.
Here, get real mean, John. Put some teeth into it.
I forgot you always have that right next to you. I got images of going to a dentist when I see that. Smile for the camera.
Where does it hurt? It hurt right here.
The top veneer to the right.
That's it. There you go.
But what other sporting news we have? I mean, I know we've had mentioned the Phillies before we hit the show. I mean,
yep.
Well, swim gym.
Yeah. I mean, here's where we're at with the Phillies right now. Everybody's saying, "Oh, the Phillies, they stink. Okay, here's a little statistical wake up call. Okay, the team is batting .293, rank in the National League number 1. They have 168 hits, rank in the National League number 1. They have 41 doubles, rank in the National League number 1. They have 6 triples, rank in the National League number 1. Slugging percentage, .464, rank in the National League? Number one. Offense is not the problem. You've got, Bryson Stott batting 380. He had a 15-game hitting streak. You got Marsh hitting 378, who couldn't hit his way out of paper bag at the end of last year. Changed something in spring training. Now he's hitting 378. You got Alec Bohm. Had his struggles last year. Put on some muscle weight. He's batting 350. He's spraying the ball all over the field. Sosa's batting 344. Turner's batting 338. Offense is not the issue. It's all about pitching.
Yeah.
You can't have your starters doing what they're doing. Agreed?
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, Nola and Wheeler, combined have, for lack of a better word, they've sucked. I mean, Nola pitches great when he's got a 9-run lead in the first. Congratulations, dude. Guess what? You ain't going to get 9 runs every week in the first.
Agreed.
No matter how good this offense is, we can't be in all these 13 to 11 games. It's not going to work.
Yeah. That's a very true assessment. I mean, that, and I'm disappointed with the big trade acquisition of Soto. He's underperforming. We both said Kimball has aged. I mean,
Yep.
It's just these guys that they brought in, the bullpen, I mean, they not off to the best of starts. I mean,
even Sir Anthony has been off to a slow start.
Yeah.
Dominguez definitely has not been what we expected him to be at this point. So, I mean, we had less concern going into the season about this bullpen. Everybody had high hopes with all the acquisitions they made, and they've been the weak spot.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, yeah.
And quite honestly, I mean, I'll be honest with you. My belief is that there's two things that hurt. Number one, they didn't spend enough time preparing for this pitch clock thing. I think it's got the relievers off their game. Relievers are having a harder time adjusting to it than starters.
I could see
okay?
it. Yeah.
I think that's number one. I think number two, this World Baseball Classic cut into spring training time, cut into the time that was spent in instruction, cut into the time that these teams got to gel together. And I think that had a big part of it too. So those two things combined, in my eyes, are the things that have really, really hurt this team so far this year. And I know there's other teams that have been off to a strong start, but I just don't think our coaching staff properly prepared this bullpen for this pitch clock thing.
I can agree with that. Plus, you think about it. If I'm not mistaken, Phillies had 7 representatives playing in that WBC. Which
Correct.
is a large chunk of your starting a roster rotation, whatever you want to say. So, like you said, they don't have time together. I mean, baseball isn't so much that you need that practice to be like an all-star team, like you would need in NBA, NHL, NFL, like that, because everyone's based off individuals. I get that, but sometimes a defensive lapse could be from the lack of time in spring training or something like that. But I mean,
well, you like your second baseman and your shortstop to spend time together in spring training, which we didn't have.
Yeah.
With Turner, Turner being out. I mean, you like to have your catcher in there managing your pitching staff, and both of our catchers were in the WBC.
True.
So they didn't get to work much with the pitching staff. I mean, these things are all contributing factors, I think. And I think, it could work itself out over time. Who knows? But, I mean, that's how you dig a hole.
you would certainly hope so. I mean, you can't blame the injury aspect as much as you possibly people say you can, because like you said, the hitting's not the problem.
No.
You've had plenty of people step up in the absence of a Reese Hoskins, who are putting together a hell of a start to the season. Are they going to slow down? Maybe a little bit, but going forward, I mean, you're going to get Harper back eventually. So that's going to help.
Sooner than later.
Yeah. And now he's trying to play first base, which I give him credit for that.
Yep.
But, I mean, yeah, you got to get the biggest thing right now hurting the Phillies, you got to get pitching under control.
Yes. Starting pitching and relievers. It's across the board.
Yep. And I think as the games progress, you will see that they can do that. Now, tomorrow's going to be a very big test because since the game got postponed today, now they have a double header versus the White Sox tomorrow.
Yep.
So, I mean, sure, it's like an interleague series, and like lineups probably won't change all that much, but that's a tough test because now whoever you're using the bullpen in game one won't probably be able to pitch that second game.
Correct.
So it just makes tomorrow that much more important for your starters to go deeper into this game to save your arms so you don't use them all up in that first game and have nobody for the second game.
Which they have not done till this point, so you got to hope that all of a sudden somebody snaps out of it. Because right now I'm not sure who the pitchers are for tomorrow, but I could look it up. But I mean, the Braves are off very quietly to 12-4. I mean, the Mets are 10-5. Marlins are 8-8. We're 6-10, and then the Nationals are an 8-game behind us. We're 1 game out of the basement at this point. Let's be honest. It's not where we expected to be, even at this early point of the season.
Yeah.
And you're already 6 games behind the Braves, and it's not even April 20th yet.
That's the scary part of it. I mean, but keep in mind also, like typical MLB and stuff like that, Philly fans are the first ones that want to jump off the chip, but then they were like, oh, well, the Phillies got lucky last year, blah, blah, blah. No, they just all gelled together late in the season when they needed to and came out almost on top. I mean, that's what you want. They got hot at the right time this year.
Yeah, well, they rallied around the interim manager.
Yeah, but now he's the real manager. So
when they got Girardi out of town, all of a sudden they woke up and said, hey, maybe we can do this.
Yeah, I mean, almost like a major league type scenario, if you ask me.
Yeah. I don't know. A picture of Topper in the locker room with, taking a piece of clothes off it. I don't find that very appealing personally, but yeah.
No, I mean, what was the whole thing that he got recognized? He was like the second best looking manager or something in the MLB.
Well, behind Gabe Kapler.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, Kapler always wins those.
Well, Kapler's a fucking idiot too.
But and that all that stuff about coconut oil, let's not even get into that.
No. Kid show.
Lose the PG.
And then my other second biggest disappointment from last week, okay? You're going to laugh when I say this one, okay?
Okay.
The Philadelphia Phillies fans. What the hell are you guys doing? You guys whine and complain when your stadium runs out of hot dogs, so you start a freaking ruckus food fight? Throwing hot dogs, throwing water bottles, like, what the hell is going on?
Horrible. And a lot of that is college kids and stuff, but that's no excuse. I mean, that traditionally the Dollar Dog Nights attracted a younger crowd. But no excuse for that kind of behavior whatsoever. and endangered the dollar dog nights for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean, granted, you only have two more. I think
Right,
you have one tomorrow night and then the one May 9th, but
right. But
I,
still, I mean, that's it's a shame that a few people can spoil it for everybody.
but it doesn't surprise me because it's typical Philly fashion that you hear shit about this. I mean, I remember a couple years back, it was a Washington Capitals Philadelphia Flyers game, and they were doing a special tribute to Ed Snyder because he had just passed away. So they gave out little things the size of a nickel that were little lights for part of the spectacular thing they were doing with the stands. During the presentation, all the fans were supposed to hold out this light thing, and it was supposed to like illuminate off at the stadium.
Yeah,
Well, Flyers wind up getting their asses kicked that night. So late in the game, Flyers took a bad call. What did fans do? They started throwing that stuff on the ice.
yeah,
Then you bring back the whole snowball incident with Santa Claus. I mean, it's countless number of things that just get so much national media that people are like, oh, see, we told you Philadelphia fans are a bunch of assholes. They can't go and support a dollar dog night. They got to start a food fight. I mean, I had a couple friends at that game, and they said it was absolutely insane to watch in person.
I'm sure.
It started off like a joking manner, but then all of a sudden, next thing you know, half the section's involved in it.
Yeah.
Like, get some class.
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just ranting and raving about it.
Or send the hot dogs to me, man. I could eat them.
Yeah, I mean, what was the total? They sold 58,000 hot dogs that night.
Wow.
I mean, that's incredible, but if you're going to
Yeah.
have 25,000 fans start a food fight over something probably stupid as hell,
Yeah.
like it's just going to tell the Phillies, okay, we're not going to do this anymore, and now we're going to charge you $6 a hot dog. Have fun
Yeah.
buying them.
Exactly.
So, I don't know, I just wanted to get that off my chest.
No, I agree with you 100% on that. Definitely.
Because then, like you said, it could possibly ruin this.
Yeah.
What we're trying to do.
Yep.
I mean, I'm still going to the game no matter what. I'm sure you are too, Ron.
Yep.
Even if it isn't dollar hot dog night, we still want people to come out and hang out with us for the night. I mean, we're trying to get as many people as we can. I mean, I think I know of two more people who are friends of mine committed to it. So I have at least two friends. I think, Ron, you said you have a couple of friends going.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, the more the merrier.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're just going to go over, have some fun. We're going to do a pop-up show while we're at the game, just hanging out. If there is dollar hot dogs, we can control ourselves. We'll try to take in a hot dog eating contest if we don't get in trouble by the Phillies, but we'll see what happens. But
Yep.
let us know if you want to come or not.
Yep.
That's all I can say. Anything you want to add on?
No, on that topic, no. I that sums it up. We're going to go have a good time. So anybody wants to in the area and you want to join us, definitely jump in.
Yeah, I will turn that off. I'll leave it at the bottom so people can still read it if they want to see it. There we go.
Yep.
But no, I mean, what else is on your mind about sports tonight? I know the Sixers are in a battle right now with the Nets in Game 2 of their series. I know you don't really follow much of NBA.
I follow the Sixers in the playoffs, though. I have to admit, I did enjoy watching the air show the other day.
I mean,
And,
I think they're struggling tonight.
Amazing amount of 3-pointers.
Oh, it totally was.
Just raining threes.
Yeah,
So,
you're not
good.
lying.
Good to see Harden sticking it to his old team.
Yes, that is for sure.
And not have to see Ben Simmons' mug sitting on the bench.
You won't see him at all.
No, he's done. He's done. They sent him home.
Good. Oh, they came back. They're up 66-61 right now with 3 minutes left in the third.
Okay.
And then you
Nice.
have Game 2 of the Sacramento and Golden State series at 9 o'clock tonight, which, if you didn't watch that game Saturday night, was a hell of a game.
Yeah. No, I didn't watch that one.
That was an awesome game.
Okay.
Right now, let's see. Sixers box score. The leading point player right now is Tyrese Maxey. Very nice game for him going.
Okay.
23 points. Joel Embiid has 10 points, 16 rebounds, 6 assists. That's awesome.
Only 10 points. Wow.
Tobias has 16 with 7 rebounds. James Harden struggling tonight. 5 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists. So, I mean, yeah. It's nice to see Maxey stepping up, though. I will say that.
Yeah. Hopefully Harden's not hurt.
That is true. I didn't think about that. Let's see. Where's he at? Says he's played 26 minutes, so he's playing most of the game.
Okay, so he's in. Yeah, he's in there. Okay.
And then PJ Tucker has no. He's 0 for 5 from the field, but 7 rebounds. So.
Okay.
Anthony Melton off the bench, 8 points. Paul Reed, 4 points. So yeah, I mean they're getting some scoring, but
All right.
gotta keep the pepper down, boys.
Got to keep it going.
And this game's in South Philly right now, so.
Yeah. So, any NASCAR update for this week, Johnny?
I didn't really get the chance to watch the highlights, but apparently, it was Ryan Priest and Kevin Harvick won the first 2 stages at Martinsville, and then Kyle Larson had a great last pit stop and pulled out the win at the end. So I was actually hanging out on Twitch a little bit today, and they do what they call iRacing. I don't know if you ever watched that or not. And I popped in this one guy's channel, really cool guy. His name is user tag is Squirrel Turds, but he's a very cool guy. He's doing his race, whatever, and I just became friends with a bunch of people in this chat, so hopefully they come over and check this out because they all seemed very intrigued about this show.
Okay.
And I said, well, good, pop over, get the NASCAR chatter going because the guy I do it with doesn't really like talking NASCAR, but I welcomed him into the chat, so we'll see.
Always open to the discussion. I just don't have much to add.
I mean, it has changed a lot over the years.
Yeah.
I mean, the rules package and all that stuff has gotten insanely the last couple years. But, like I said, I grew up on it. My dad's always told me like how he used to go to Pocono back in the day, Talladega, Daytona. He's been down to Daytona 500, stuff like that. It's how I learned my number system growing up as a kid, actually. Because I have a learning disability. So my parents and their friends would always get together on a Sunday for the NASCAR race. And so I started memorizing the numbers and who drove them and stuff. So then, on every other Sunday, okay, who drives the number 2 car? Who drives number 4? Stuff like they would start questioning me. And that's how I started being able to retain information. And I guess that's how I developed all my sports knowledge is from memorizing stuff and then studying it.
Cool.
So,
that's an interesting story. That's cool.
There's a lot more to it. I mean, I used to make money because my uncles would always need a beer, but then they would get off the couch. Hey, Johnny, go fetch me a cold one. You bring back a beer, here's $1.
Nice.
So I learned the business aspect at a very young age, and I also learned what beer tastes like at 6 years old because my uncle gave me a Coors Light at 6. But no, it was always good spending time with my dad and his friends on Sunday watching NASCAR. So that's why I appreciate the sport still to this day, even though it is a dying sport. Unfortunately, it's not like it used to be. But it's in my blood. I can't help it.
But I think there's a lot of sports that are like that. They're not really the same as they used to be. I mean, if you really look at it,
No.
I mean, the polish has come off some sports, and others have been on the rise. You know,
What would, in your eyes, what would you say is a sport that has died off the last couple of years?
well, I agree with you with auto racing, boxing, the heavyweight division of boxing. Absolutely. I mean, back in the day, that was like the biggest deal ever. It was like, oh, the next championship fight. Oh yeah, Mike Tyson. Yeah, and Muhammad Ali. Yeah, Joe Frazier. Guess what? I couldn't even name a champion right now. There's
Yeah.
18 different belts. There's 18 different promotions, and you know, it's it's a mess, and it's all rigged and all tied to gambling and everything else now, and they just wrecked the sport. That's another one that was much bigger back in the day, and now just basically is non-existent.
A lot of people would say the NBA has changed basketball. I mean, a lot of it changed, like the technical aspect of it, the players just wanting money aspect, all that fun stuff too. I mean, it's not like what pisses me off is these professional athletes grow up playing this game for free. Okay, maybe sure you're
Mm-hmm.
lucky enough to get that incentive deal at a young age that like Reebok or Adidas, Nike wants to sign you when you're 12, 13 years old because they see potential. Sure, but I'd say a vast majority, maybe give or take 85% of professional athletes back in the day were not paid at all to play the sport that they love. But now you throw them up, but 10, 15 years down the road, and they're signing multi-million dollar contracts. And then at the end of that contract, they're like, okay, I outplayed that one. Now I want a contract that's 5 times that much in value. What happened to playing for the love of the
Right.
game?
Yeah, that day is long gone. The loyalty to teams uh, is non-existent because the loyalty to uh, players is non-existent as well. These players just got too much power. They ended up, some power to just a couple of teams each division. Where they get together and they say, okay, well, we're all going to go here and we're going to make, and LeBron, started that crap,
Yeah, I
and
mean,
then next thing they're having a reveal thing where all these guys are coming out, and they're making a big production out of it on ESPN. It's insane. To be a free agent is one thing. To collude to gather like a super team together, and then just throw off the whole balance of power of all basketball. Just you know, is it kind of takes the competitive nature out of about 3/4 of the teams in the league because they may get into the playoffs, but they're only going to a couple of games and they're done
yeah,
because it can be these teams.
true. I mean,
And the way that they set the rules up, you can use the player to a max contract and not have it hit you as hard against your cap. So they would have to be concerned about cap if they were somebody signing their own player. They can pay them pretty much whatever they want, and only a portion of it counts against the cap.
no, you're absolutely right. I mean, it's just like super teams don't always work, and we've seen that firsthand.
Yeah, but just the
So I
fact
mean,
that they exist is a problem because you go through the regular season and you have these guys, these teams, smacking teams down by 40 points. Teams that have
true.
no right being on the court, you know, it's just a balance thing.
No, I mean that is a good way to put it. I mean, and LeBron James is the one that started that back when he did the whole decision process when he made a whole ESPN
Yep.
special out of where he was deciding where to go. I mean, from there it's
Yep.
just it spiraled downwards out of control.
Yep.
So thanks, LeBron.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
And that was
yeah,
all Pat Riley. Riley had
yeah,
that to he did that whole
that is true. You're right. I
along with
forgot about
LeBron.
that. Pat Riley
Yeah.
did have a big say in that. You're absolutely right.
Yep.
Uh, see if I can fix something because you seem like you're lagging a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
No, I don't know if it's on my end or your end, but I don't know. I'll mess
I
with
don't
it
know.
afterwards.
Let me see what my signal looks like.
I don't know. I'll mess with it. It's not a big deal.
It looks like I might be okay. I'm not sure. There we go.
But what else would you like to discuss tonight, sir?
Let's see. Hold on, I'm just checking something real quick.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, got it. I don't know what else. We talked about. Well, I mean, you could talk about. Even though we're not exactly hockey geese, the merciful end of the Flyer season and the beginning of the purge.
Big purge that's coming. You're absolutely right. Between finding a full suitable GM, we're gonna have probably a top 6 pick.
Yep.
Some big name contracts finally coming to an end. Who's on the trade bait wire? I mean,
yeah, it's just going to be a total rebuild from the bottom up. And even Tortorella, not coaching the last couple of games.
Yeah, what was that all about? I read about it. I didn't really. Is it a personal matter? Is that
I don't
something
know.
true?
I think booze, personally. I think they told him that he weren't bringing him back.
Really? You think it's 1 year and done?
I'm thinking a new GM comes in for his own coach.
Okay. I mean,
and God, please don't let it run Hextall again. Because Hextall just got fired by the Penguins.
Yes, he did. You're absolutely right.
So, hopefully he's the man back next. We've been through that one before.
I mean, I'm just trying to think who else is after that would be a suitable GM for us. I mean, because obviously you're not going to let Danny Briere run a team by himself.
No.
The biggest thing is
I say you.
Go ahead.
I say you let Briere run it, but you bring in like a Ken Hitchcock to advise him.
Okay, I mean that's a decent idea. I mean, bringing someone who has that veteran coaching experience. Okay, I could be all for that.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of, you want a guy behind, like somebody who's on the team who really want to do the day that much. Get a young guy to do all the running, but you kind of control it behind the scenes kind of deal, and let him learn on the job.
And Connect Shocks is
even Laviolette is a possibility. He's also a free agent.
Yeah, because he
also got let go.
Yeah,
correct. I thought he got a raw deal when he got out of here. With a new management, somebody else managing at the top, who's not to say they don't make a phone call to him and say, hey, look, we know you did you wrong. Here's your chance to build it from the bottom up with no interference.
Case in point.
Possibility.
Yeah.
I hate to rehash old names, but there's names out there that are familiar with the organization who could probably help. And it can't get any worse. Let's be honest. It can't.
Yeah, I mean, it can, but then again, it can't. So
this is rock bottom.
Yeah, I mean, that is fair. I mean, we didn't finish dead last, but we were definitely down there.
We were heading that way. If the season had been 15 games longer, we would have been dead last.
Okay, that's a fair point. I mean, a lot of people I've talked to, I know one guy I worked with who is very adamant, thinks that Comcast needs to get the hell out of the way. He thinks the people who run Comcast are the ones that are destroying the Flyers. I don't know if you could agree with that or disagree, but He just thinks Comcast needs to sell the team.
Any secret that the start of the decline of the Philadelphia Flyers started when Mr. Snyder was no longer involved.
Yeah, well.
I think that he truly was the last of the Mohicans, pretty much. Once he lost control of the team, I think that was the beginning of the end. And corporate, corporate figureheads are not working in the best interest of the team. They're working in the best interest of the bottom line.
Yeah, they're looking at the business aspect of it. They want the money aspect of it.
Correct. And there's no passion. There's no excitement. There's no consideration of the fans, and the people who have built the organization from the bottom up.
Yeah, I mean,
I think they just totally disregard all of that. Yeah.
No, I could agree with that. I mean, sure, you spend $250 million on renovations to a stadium that needed it, but what else have you done for me? Like, the product you put on the ice is so underwhelming compared to what some of these other smaller aspect cities have. Like, why can't you get...
But yet you raise the ticket prices every year.
Yeah, that is also a very true point. I mean... But, like, look at a city like Nashville, for instance. Nashville, like, you wouldn't really think that'd be a hockey city, but they got such a good, balanced team out there that fans love it. They eat it up.
Yeah.
Then you have a team like Philly, who's been around since the mid-'60s, who back in the day, you couldn't even buy a ticket. And now you go to a Flyers-Rangers game, and 3/4 of the fans are Rangers fans.
Yep.
It's embarrassing.
Well, one thing about Philadelphia fans, if you're losing, they're not going to show up. I mean, we've seen it time and time again with the Phillies. Not so much with the Eagles, because the Eagles have always had support no matter what. You'd have to go back into the 80s to find a time when an Eagles game wasn't sold out.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I mean, Phillies, if they're going bad, yeah, all of a sudden they got 15,000, 20,000. They're announcing 20,000, and there's 10,000 in the stands.
Yeah.
It's season ticket holders stop showing up, start selling their tickets off. There's a big glut on StubHub and all them other ripoffs.
No, I mean, that's a very good, fair assessment. I mean, and to agree, like, it's like, okay, how much longer can we put up with this? Because if our season ticket holders are buying their tickets but then selling them, they're not investing in our product. It
Correct.
may seem like they are.
Which means they're not staying local. You're not spending money locally, which means you're defeating the purpose of having season ticket holders, because they have a loyalty to the team. They buy jerseys. They buy concessions. They tailgate. They shop locally to tailgate. They they're paying some of the stuff that you wouldn't really think about,
Mm-hmm. But then, like, a couple years back, me and my friend Gary, who pops in chat occasionally, went down to Tampa Bay. And when we were down there, I had read an article that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers ticket office was getting on their season ticket holders for selling off their tickets. They had come out and said, if you sell more than 2 games a season, so you figure there's 8 games in the regular season, sometimes 9 now, for home tickets for NFL season. If they find out you sold two or more games of your season tickets, you now are revoked from having season tickets.
See, I don't know how they can do that, because a lot of people share season tickets. like two people will go in and they'll split the games half and half.
But that's the
That
thing,
that's
like you can do that, but when you see that ticket on a ticket website, like nowadays you
yeah.
buy a
Well,
ticket
that's
off
different.
ticket,
Yeah, yeah.
you buy a ticket off a
Okay, I got
website.
you. Yeah,
I mean, I have plenty of my ticket stubs from many years ago that it says ticket issued to, and it's not my name; it's somebody else. They're just
yeah.
transferring it over to sale,
Right. Gotcha.
and a lot of teams are getting mad. Like you're investing money in us, but then you're flipping your tickets and making money off of us.
Yeah, that's
Just
true.
look at the Eagles last year. I know a couple people who sold their playoff tickets for the NFC Division and NFC Conference Championship game that made enough money to pay off the season this year.
Right. Yep.
So I mean, is there a way that you can pad it? Sure, but are they ever going to do that? Probably not.
No, probably not.
But the loyal fans like me and you who want to go to a game are going to have to spend that
Hmm.
freaking arm and a leg to buy a goddamn ticket.
Right. To even see a bad game, let alone a good one.
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing coming out soon. May 11th, though, you figure that's 3 weeks from Thursday. The NFL schedule
Yeah.
comes out.
Okay.
And I'm looking at possibly going up to Foxborough this year for the Eagles Patriots game. So I can't even imagine what that's going to be like. Because now I saw a news story that the Patriots are raising their ticket prices for the first time in 18 years.
Well, they're renovating the stadium too.
Yeah, so it's just a very interesting concept and aspect.
Yep.
But it just sucks because if I could get to more games, I would absolutely love it. Because me being a sports fanatic, I love going to games. And I'm sure you would agree with that.
Yep.
But the price of a game nowadays is just an absolute joke. And then, let alone you go to an Eagles game, you're spending $120, $125 on a ticket, but then you're spending $50 just to get in the damn parking lot.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah,
That's
parking is outrageous. It's turned into a revenue stream that is just out of control.
yeah, I mean, Gary, I'm resorting to him a lot tonight, but Gary went over to a hockey game last Tuesday, got a ticket off
Mhm.
StubHub, upper level. I think he paid $18, which isn't bad. Granted, the Flyers
No.
aren't the best team right now, but then he was like, yeah,
Hmm.
it cost me 18 for the ticket, but then it cost me 30 because you got to think about it. I got to pay $5 to go over the bridge, and then another 25 to park my car.
And 25 is low. I mean, there's concerts over here in Camden. They're charging 40.
Yeah, I mean, how like, and like with inflation being as high as it is right now, it's like you can't. I mean, how do you do it?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It just sucks. That's what it does.
Yeah, it does.
But I don't know, I'm still hoping to get up to hoping to get an away game this year, and I know New England's definitely top of the list. Seattle's been mentioned, maybe. That'd be a hell of an expensive trip, though, probably.
Yeah, it would.
And then Chris, who was on our Thursday show, he sometimes pops in here on Monday nights, was thinking maybe LA. I was like, no.
Yeah.
I could only
Again,
imagine how
big
much
time expense.
unless you can get a hotel right at the airport because the football stadium is within walking distance to LAX. So unless you can get a really good deal of a hotel for a weekend right at the airport and walk to the stadium, different story. But I don't know. I'm really hoping
Yeah.
and praying I can do it New England, but we'll see.
Yep. Yeah, man.
But I don't know. I mean, let me see if I can do another quick update on the Sixers game since we're
Okay.
mentioned that already. It is
Little
now.
bit of a slow night tonight.
Yeah, well, I had gotten a notification that Mr. Sam went live on his page, little prick.
Yeah.
Trying to steal my audience. That's okay. Sixers are winning 79-71 with 8 minutes left in the fourth.
Okay.
And let's see what the box score looks like now. Embiid's up to 14 and 18 rebounds. Maxi's still sitting at 23. Tobias has 20. And James Harden's up to 8.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's nice to see Tobias
So Harden
stepping up.
and Embiid are taking the night off without taking the night off.
Yeah, seems like it.
They're just rebounding assists.
Yeah, I mean, 14 and 18 for Embiid's not his best night, but it's also not his worst night.
Trying to get Maxey more involved because they're going to need him when they get to the later rounds.
Yeah, I mean, 23 points. And
Can't have him
rebounds.
disappearing like he does sometimes.
No, I completely agree with that.
Because when they're doubling Embiid and Harden's, drifting around on the outside, they need somebody that can penetrate, who can carry the ball and handle it, the way that Maxey can. So.
No, I completely agree with that. I mean, I love Tyrese Maxey too. I think he's a good kid. He's coming to his own. He's only gonna get better.
I'm glad they didn't trade him.
Oh, I would have been mad as hell if we would have traded him.
Yep, he would have been one you would have 10 years from now. You'd be saying, yeah, we had him and we wasted him.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people out there right now who follow that list. I mean, that might be a list to do one day actually on here is a top 10 Philadelphia Philadelphia athlete drafted but then traded away who went off to have good success. I mean, that could probably be a very in-depth list.
I know who should be number one on that list.
Okay, who you got? Go ahead.
Baseball Hall of Famer. Was a throw-in. Yes.
Baseball Hall of Famer.
And he was a throw-in in a trade. He was traded away and turned into a Hall of Famer. Because our ex-GM was in charge of the team that wanted him thrown in the trade. And that was Mr. Dallas Green, who insisted that in the Larry Boa, Ivan DeJesus trade, throw in that kid Sandberg.
Ryan Sandberg.
Ryan Sandberg was a throw-in in the Larry Boa, Ivan DeJesus trade with the Cubs.
Wow.
And Ryan Sandberg went on to the Hall of Fame.
I did a...
and it was a Dallas Green. Dallas Green had gone to Chicago, and that was his big splash.
Definitely a hard one to top.
I mean, I'm sure there's other ones that, if you really think about it, there's other ones that have definitely been in that same category, but that one jumps right into my head when you said that.
Yeah. I mean, one I could think of off the top of my head that the Sixers let go at a very young age. I mean, granted, he still playing to this day sparingly. I think he finally just retired this past year. Andre Iguodala.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple Sixers that fall into that. Yeah. Like Drew Holiday.
Drew Holiday, Michael Carter Williams.
Yeah.
How could you even possibly throw Allen Iverson into that list?
Nah, I don't know. That's a reach. He did his best work in Philly. He was a hanger-on any place else he went.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I was happy when they did trade him, they brought in someone like Andre Miller, who never played the same like he did when he was with his original team.
Yeah.
But I was a very big fan of Andre Miller growing up.
Yeah.
But Sandberg's a great one for the Phillies.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I will really have to do some digging.
I have to think of it, put some thinking into that, and we'll have to put that together for one night.
That would be a fun conversation, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, next Monday, I hope we can just have a better understanding where the draft's going to head. I'm going to talk to some people this week. We might have a guest or two next Monday for that show.
Okay.
So we can just break down the NFL draft as a whole. Maybe do a prediction show, like on like a first round mock draft type thing.
Okay.
And see what everybody has to say.
Well, that's going to be tough this year with all the potential for trades and stuff.
Yeah, I mean.
But it'll be fun though. It'll be fun to speculate.
I mean, I figured we did something like that for the Super Bowl. Why not try to do something like that for the NFL draft?
Sure, absolutely. Sounds like a plan.
And then thinking ahead, like I had mentioned, May 11th, the NFL schedule comes out. So then that following Monday would be the May 15th. We can break down the schedules.
Yes.
And we can also tell everybody about a fun dog night. So.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, a lot of good things coming. I mean, the show's going in the right direction. I mean, it may be slow tonight, but there's other nights that have taken off. So, I mean.
Yep.
And plus, anyone who ever looks in the chat, if you just say hello, drop a like, that helps too. I mean, that would give us ideas. I mean, what do you guys want us to talk about? What do you want to interact with us when we're talking about it? I mean, because there's some people that like sports, there's other people that don't like sports, there's people that like movies that don't like movies. This show is supposed to be catered towards other people who want to participate in the conversation and stuff like that.
Yep. Absolutely.
You can't please everybody. I always say that.
It's true. It's very true. But I mean, all we could do is, appreciate the people that do participate and interact with us, and we're more than happy to, develop a rapport back and forth on anything that's going on. An occasional what's up.
Yeah, they do add an aspect to the show when you do the "was up." That's for sure.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I mean, I really didn't have anything else, John.
Okay. I mean, that's fine. I'm gonna give a quick rundown, like I always do, of every single week. We'll say thank you real quick, and then we'll call it a night. I mean,
all right. Sounds good.
Tomorrow night, Miss Morgan will be back. I don't know what fun she has planned, but entertainment night is always a chaotic show to say the least, but we have a lot of fun. So if you like to laugh and take part in some type of activity, check that one out. Wednesday night, I have Video Game Mania. My friend Dominic might be joining me this week. I gotta talk to him more in detail about it when I see him tomorrow at work. Thursday night this week is going to be an absolutely huge show. We are merging shows for the night with Verge of Sanity Radio, which is a couple of my good friends started a show of their own a couple years back. It started off as Powerbomb Radio. I actually made my first ever podcast appearance on their show, doing a sports and entertainment segment for them. So I talked to the two main hosts of that this morning. They're going to join us for a night as a collaboration for Turnbuckle Thursday. So that will be streaming live on our page, The Basement Show, Darth Nexus on Twitch, hopefully Facebook, and we're linking up the Verge of Sanity page too. So we will be live on 3 different people's pages on Thursday night. So that's awesome. Going to be an incredible show. I am looking forward to having my friend Lynn and Alan join us for a fun wrestling show, because both of them guys are very big wrestling fans as well. So that promises to be a kick-ass show. And then Friday night, as of now, Miss Andrea is in the works of planning her return for Friday night. We all have missed Andrea a lot. We look forward to seeing her back on the show.
Glad you're feeling better, Andrea.
So, but if you go back and rewatch the show, even if you don't catch it live, drop a like to let us know you stopped by. Leave a comment. I can still see comments even after the show ended. I always appreciate the support. We had Dorth pop in the chat, Jack, Curtis, and Andrea. As always, thank you for your kind words. I hope everyone has a good night. I don't know if you have anything else to add, Ron.
No, I echo the sentiment. Thank you guys for popping in tonight. We appreciate it. Even though it was a little bit of a slow night, well, hopefully we can just continue to encourage everybody to check out the shows during the week, because we got a lot of exciting things going on here in the basement. So thanks to everybody. We appreciate you. Don't forget to continue to spread the word. And we will see you guys tomorrow night for entertainment night, hopefully, and throughout the week. And we'll be back next Monday with a little bit more of a clearer lens on maybe some draft developments, and hopefully a good solid week for the Phillies against Chicago, and I forget who they play on the weekend, but
Let's see, I can pull it out real quick since you went.
yeah, I know it's the White Sox for 3, and then an off day, I think.
Yeah, they have a doubleheader with the White Sox now tomorrow. And then they bring in the Colorado Rockies for a 4-game set.
Okay.
Ooh. Damn. If only my cousin Kelsey popped in tonight, I could start talking some shit.
Rockies for 4, huh? Okay.
Yep.
So, that being said, everybody have a great night. Don't forget to spread the word, and we'll catch you on the rebound.
Yeah, and I'm just going to add one last thing in case somebody goes back and rewatches this. The end of this month, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, week of the NFL draft, the Phillies actually go to Houston to play the Houston Astros. So hopefully we can get some payback this time around. We'll see.
Yeah, hopefully.
We'll see.
Certain somebody might have to help come in that Monday and pay the price.
Yeah, I mean, I can always talk to him. I mean, I think that'd be a lot of fun to tease him, but we'll see. But other than that, hope everyone has a fun-filled night, and I will see you. Ron might even pop in tomorrow night. He occasionally pops in on entertainment night, too, so. But, see you tomorrow night.
You just never know.
Yeah, DJ Scoop. Peace.
Peace out.